Hey folks, I'm sitting here in Mr. Alex Koloskov's studio back here. It's an amazing studio. I'm jealous. But Alex, if you've seen some of his work, and I'll overlay some of his work as we're going through this interview, but Alex is an amazing photographer. He's a commercial photographer, studio photographer, one of those photographers that creates amazing realities, and as you'll see, and through this discussion, is an inspiring force in and of himself, just because of the entrepreneurialism and because of the work itself and just his excitement for photography. So Alex agreed to do this interview, so that we could kind of dive into the world of Alex and your company, PhotoG, right? So Alex, welcome to your studio.
Thank you, Frederick, for such introduction. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I can do introductions like this.
It's true. It's all true. It's all true.
So yes. I'm excited.
Yeah, so I just want to dive into a little bit of background. I first became aware of the stuff that you're doing through the Arcanum. I saw you doing some stuff there a while back. You've got a crazy popular YouTube channel out there, and you seem to be committed to educating photographers, along with the photography that you're doing. So how do you blend those two together?
About 10 years ago, I was dreaming to become famous studio photographer.
Yeah.
We'll work with big brands and make money doing some crazy shots for advertisement, for big companies.
Yeah.
And it took a long way to kind of climb slowly on that hill. And on my way, I just started at some point. I think it was a friend of mine who said, "Hey, Alex, you like this doing so much? Maybe you can start a blog." So I started a blog where I started sharing my findings, my behind the scene basically things that I was learning. I started from shooting in bedroom in our apartment, and we got a basement in our house, and maybe in a year or two, I just started feeling that my things that I was sharing and feedback and all this around that community that started building around my blog. Was much more rewarding to me emotionally and mentally than my commercial work.
Yeah.
And that was it was not instantaneous shift, but at some point I just found that I want to do more of that sharing of
like the how-tos behind it.
Yes, exactly. Kind of helping photographers. And at the beginning it wasn't really helping because I was learning myself all this. And then I asked myself how I can do this and still make money at some point,
right?
If I want to do less and less commercial shooting. So that's how Photigy was born, the project, where first it was me, but now we have many instructors and more coming. And we have a great community. That's probably the biggest asset of Photigy project.
Yeah.
Is a community. It's worldwide. And beautiful photographers there. And what the best, we all sharing our work. We all helping each other. We have a Facebook group. We have a forum on Photigy. And it just, I didn't think what can be,
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I've seen some of the same things. And on the show, I refer to folks like yourself as photopreneurs, right? So you're a photographer first and foremost, but you're also an entrepreneur. And you're sort of leveraging your knowledge and your desire to educate others into a business model that is helping you do more of the same, right? So, let's talk about Photigy a little bit. So you mentioned that there's a big community around it. How does that work? Is it a subscription, or how did you build that?
There is probably 80% of things that we do, it's free, and the most of our community it's a forum on the Photigy, and we have a Facebook group. It's Photigy Facebook group. It's kind of closed group, but it's completely free. I mean, anyone who asks to join, it will be approved.
Okay.
And this where most of the sharing and collaboration is going on. Facebook is much faster in terms of, more convenient, how it works. People just love to communicate.
And they're already there anyway, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it's really active on Facebook. It's just Facebook/group/Photigy, I think. That's the URL. And on Photigy, we have a premium kind of part of Photigy, where the most interesting tutorials are. That's where interaction goes on in terms of we reviewing shots. We have assignments where I or other photographer, like expert photographer, creating a tutorial with some hero shot, which then photographers from community trying to repeat, and then we.
So you create a main shot.
Yes, main shot.
You or the photographer will create a main shot, and then the students try to recreate that
exactly.
shot.
They have a tutorial. It's about 1 hour, covering the whole from A to Z of the shot, and then about 2 weeks later, once it's released. Students who participate in it, meaning that they made a shot, they submitted their result with, again, lighting setup, with the description how they do it. Then every shot is reviewed by me, if I'm instructor. Basically, we may have different instructors for different assignments, but mostly it's me. That's where that personal feedback happens. That's why it's premium, because it's
your time.
Exactly, it's my personal time.
So you go in. So if I go in there, if I'm a member, and say it's you're the instructor, and you show how to do one of your splash photography, your splash projects, and I say, okay, I want to try that, and I go in my garage and I do my shot, and I get it, I upload it to the site,
right?
And then at that point, you would go in and say, Frederick, this is horrible. You did this. This is all wrong. This is not what I taught you. Do it differently. Or you did a great job, Frederick. So you do that.
Yes. I'm trying to stay away from words horrible, because I'm kind of tough teacher, and I kind of learned that by feedback from students saying, "Hey, Alex, can you tell at least something what is good about it?" Because it's
give me some encouragement.
That's kind of how my mind works. If it's good, I kind of say, "Hey, it's just good."
Yeah.
If something is wrong, I kind of, this is what you can fix.
Yeah.
But the general idea is. I'm trying to see how it was done. That's why we always ask to submit the lighting setup. So in using the same lighting, that photographer has the same resources. I'm trying to kind of brainstorm how it can be improved.
Sure.
And
And how do you provide that feedback? Is it just text, or do you do video, or do you do a personal chat with the person? How does that feedback?
It's a video. It's basically a video, embedded video on Photigy with a chat.
Okay.
So people join all around the world watching me critiquing, the critic, and we have chat to communicate. I read the chat, I see. Sometimes I even show something like how it should be done. If I have, let's say, lighting setup ready, I can always say, hey, this is what I mean. I go there, like now we have the cameras all around. I turn them on and I show exactly what I mean in real time.
Love it.
So it's cool. It's a cool thing, and we have a great progress of photographers who've been several months at least with us.
How did you come up with the idea for this? Because I've seen, I've had Aaron Nace on the show, and he does some online content, but I don't think he has a community. He hasn't moved into the community aspect as much as you. And there's other sites that are more leaning towards community. I haven't seen one quite like this, with the personal touch and the critique and the sort of high community. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but the sort of, you have a group of people that are of like-minded, that are in together, but you also have the integration or the input from the main leader in there. How did you come up with the whole model?
Interesting. I think it was through Google Hangouts at the beginning. Yes, the idea, because it was a blog that I have. Then Google Hangout, Google Plus came to life, and Trey, that's how I met.
Trey Radcliffe,
Trey
friend of the show. Hey, Trey.
Yes. Hey, Trey. He introduced me the idea of, hey, there is a way to build a community. So it was all around Google Plus. We started doing Hangouts, and I kind of liked the idea that people can participate, we can talk, and I was always thinking how we can make it not just through web camera, but something like the leader is showing something a little bit more, so that's how we build all the gigs of multiple cameras and kind of live type of show.
So if I log in, if I set up an account on PhotoG and I log in, what do I see?
Well, you'll see probably the same thing as without logging in, unless you log in and create a subscription for that premium. We call it Pro Corner. And then it's like part of Photigy, where assignments All the past assignments are posted. We have a library of...
It's like a forum area in there, kind
There
of?
is a forum. It's open forum and closed forum. There are different private forums.
Okay.
And for example, we have a community around our courses because Pro Corner, it's interactive education. There are courses, which is different.
Yeah.
When people sign up for a course, they have the materials, videos. They can work on their own, but each course has own private forum.
Okay.
That's where...
Oh, wonderful. Each course has its own forum.
Exactly.
So if you're interested in splash photography and you've taken a course on splash photography, you can go in there and interact with other people that are also interested in, without going into some other subject area. Okay.
And interact with your instructor. You can submit your shots and instructor will give you feedback. In this case, if it's my course, I'm supposed to give feedback. If it's somebody else's course, he or she is supposed to give feedback. And this is the main idea of Photigy, actually, because I've been looking on different, educational type of programs, and it's all great content in many of them, but there is very little communities, or would say just websites, projects with a live feedback.
Yeah,
because without that feedback, you may lose. I mean, as a student, if you can have something done based on what you got on the course, on the video, and there is no way to get additional information to fix it, you're stuck. You're basically wasting your money because you paid and you just get some frustration.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to fix with Photigy.
Yeah.
It should be always feedback. And well, now Arcanum is live. It's a great project. Again, lots of similarities. And well, I'm glad to be part of the Arcanum. I wish I can be a little bit more involved in the future. I will be, but Photigy first.
Yeah. I think it's interesting all the different ways that they're out there for photographers to learn. I mean, TWiP has some educational resources. There's the Arcanum, there's lynda.com, there's Creative Live, there's Kelby
Creative
Training.
Live, yep,
there's all these different, and I think it's awesome because, we're probably around the same age. I remember when we were just, when I was younger, learning about photography was hard, right? It was harder. You could get a book and go through the book and take, pictures on film or whatever, and then now it's much easier, especially to dive down into specific genres of photography. And with services like yours, get feedback from wherever you are on the planet. It's crazy.
That's power of internet. And yeah, that's very true. I was actually really surprised when I started sharing my blog, 6-7 years ago, that on that area of studio photography, of still life photography, jewelry, I was alone. I mean, it was no blogs, it was no educational source. I was surprised. Well, I was looking for tutorials myself. I couldn't find anything for jewelry. I couldn't find, it was a relatively good coverage for people, for weddings, portraiture, all kind of different genres, except that little still life thing.
Right.
It was very little.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was surprised that I was first to start doing this. Now we have different projects coming on, and it's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's good. I mean, that's the nature of the business. You find a need, you fill the need, and everybody's happy. So I want to, before we close this off, I want to talk a little bit about your work, right? So, looking at your website, I'm a big fan of things that look surreal and awesome. So clearly I'm a fan of yours, right? And the splash photography that you do is just amazing. Like I saw one of the shots with roses in there, then it was like a bouquet. The paper was water, and I know if you want to learn how to do that, take the course, obviously. But give us like an overview of how you do that.
The liquid photography.
Yeah, the liquid photography.
By the way, that rose, the bouquet with liquid, it's completely free. It's on. It was shared on B&H. How they call it? Quora? I forgot. There is educational part on B&H.
Oh, B&H. Yeah.
They have like a blog. So tutorial there, guys. You can dig
so they can go get it right now.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Like I said, we have lots of free stuff, and only like if you feel like, hey, I want to learn this really deep, that's where you can start paying money. But
yeah.
So for by the way, splash photography, it was my winning ticket, really, because that's what really eye-catching, and when I start doing it, like, that's awesome.
Right.
It's funny that it's one of the simplest things you do in still life photography.
Really?
Yeah, many people not realize it, but shooting, let's say, chrome cattle, completely glossy, is much harder than shoot nice splash. Really, once you get in, it's
because the reflective surface shows all your lights and everything.
It's much more knowledge in that shot. But for splash, well, you need to have just few things, and the main is short its flash duration. I mean, it's technical stuff. Basically, your lights that you use should have really short flash duration because the flash the lighting is what freezes the action, not your shutter.
Now, are you shooting when you do that? If the flash obviously is creating the exposure, are you shooting on bulb with the shutter open and it's completely dark in here, and you just boom pop the flash when you want it, or how does that work?
I don't shoot like this, but there is a way to do it.
Okay.
I mean, in really dark studio, yeah, it's possible, but well, it's hard to do multiple shots like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there are triggers.
You just can't see what you're doing. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just if you do paint or stuff, you better see what you do. So it all comes to triggering in the right time. And I started from triggering just using the most expensive trigger.
Yeah.
My wife.
Those can get expensive. Yeah.
Yes. So human trigger, just right time, it should trigger it. And it works really well once you kind of train your trigger to do it right.
So she's hitting the button and you're throwing the water.
Yeah, I throw and then you need to hit once it's flying at some point. But there are mechanical, electronical triggers for this. It's called an Arduino based. There is like software and do-it-yourself kits. There are many of them. But basically, there are sound or laser or light trigger. Let's say I use sometimes light trigger. I have the flashlight, which with very small, beam demonstrated. So I set it across the shooting area with the trigger sit there. When splashes flies and kind of
breaks the beam.
Yeah, brings the beam. It does a flash.
Very cool.
Once you set up, it's really easy. Probably the hardest part of the flash photography, it's sculpting the splash, to make it look nice.
Yeah.
Because if you just throw, it will be just it's just
random.
To make something nice, not just in Photoshop with your hands, it takes lots of time. It's basically like anything you do with your hands.
It's an art form, right?
Yeah,
because you're like I would say it's almost like a ballet, right? Because you have to flip it and
and it was body motion.
Yeah.
So it's
you got to hold your face the right way.
Especially if you're on the camera, like Exactly.
So that's cool. So then say you go through a bunch of these and you get a bunch of exposures on the card, you bring those into Photoshop, and what do you do from there? Are you combining multiple shots together to get the final piece, or?
In some cases, yes. In some not. In many, most of the, especially if it's splash photography involves some still life subject like advertisement, there is a product sitting there. Yeah, of course, I would say 99% that it will be composite shot, meaning that it will be multiple splashes then combined in one. And actually, there is a good video for this. I don't know if you've seen it or not. We made a Google from the paint. Google board.
The logo? Oh.
Yeah, the logo, and it looks really cool. I actually posted on Facebook like a week ago. It was.
Oh, I have to see that. Did you do it in the colors too?
It's all in right colors. It was real paint, latex paint, and we have the whole video. It's really fast, but you see everything. Plus post-production. You will see how we throw the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send you a link so
I
want to
see that. Yeah, we'll include it in the video.
Yes, definitely. It's really cool, and then you will see how in Photoshop you not only combining stuff, you bending. There is a warp tool and liquify tool. You can bend things, and if it's just the splash, because of no predefined shape,
right?
You can do
whatever you want
in Photoshop,
and it will still look normal.
Yes, it's not like somebody will see. I mean, you cannot bend, normal stuff because it will be not natural. For splash, it's all natural.
Wow.
So I mean, that's why.
Definitely send me that. I want to see that.
Yeah.
You're right. Sometimes the simplest things are the most impressive, right? Like you said, the technique is simple, but the challenge comes in being creative.
Yeah, right? Creative and putting some the hero shot, the final shot. It involves either multiple people. Like for example, for me, Zhenya, my wife, she's doing the post-production. Because if you look at like splash shot on Google, you will see lots of images, nice images. I think many of them Photigy students. But it's like a simple splash flying, and it's not that eye-catching. It's cool, but to make it work for you as like advertisement agent, I mean, it will be spread all over. You need to do extra mile. You need to spend time of first thinking of the idea and then implementing it, so it will be not just a flying piece of liquid.
Right. They just got to tell a story, right?
Storytelling.
Yeah, I see it all the time. Like I have on my TV at home. I have Apple TV plugged into it and it does the screensaver thing, so I can see people's.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I have it set to the featured photos or interesting photos on Flickr, so I get these fresh photos coming through all the time. And one thing I noticed from them, the thing that excites me about a photo versus the thing that I just like, oh, okay, it's another photo, is if there's a story behind the photo.
Oh, yeah.
Like with your photos, like with the Google thing or the roses or whatever, there's a story back there. Even if it's a subtle story, but if it's just some flying water, it's technically interesting, but it doesn't tell a story. You have to make it up yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is all interesting. So I want to sort of close this on, clearly we're in your space here, congratulations. Awesome space. So you just moved in here not too long ago. Tell me the story about why you're here. Like, what is this for?
Well, we loved California from first day we've been here. It was about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember, but on one of the vacations we decided, hey, let's go to West Coast. We went here and we just completely fall in love with this place and with the state. We drove from San Francisco to San Diego.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And it was like, wow.
On the coastline? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Highway 1. And then plus minus we've been. It's just so beautiful, beautiful people. And we especially love the North California because of the spirit.
Yeah.
It's so much different, especially from East, South Coast. We've been in Atlanta, a great place to live. But it's much slower stuff there. And for us, I don't know. For me, my wife, we kind of were looking for a little bit more drive.
Yeah,
it's
an entrepreneurial culture here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what we found here, and we said, hey, we want to live here.
Yeah.
So then we found the school. Because of the natural business, we can live actually on anywhere. I left a company. I was working as IT, programmer. For all these years. I left it a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, in January 3rd.
Congratulations.
I remember it for whole life. Thank you. So after that,
I left corporate America on the 4th of July, Independence Day.
Wow, that's a great way to celebrate.
Like 4 years ago, I think it was. Yeah.
That's perfect way to celebrate Independence Day.
Yes, thank you.
So and we moved here, and then start looking for the space for studio.
Yeah.
We found this place. It's perfect. It's just basically a large warehouse.
Yeah.
That's what we need, so we can build whatever we want around.
Yeah.
Like now, it's in the middle of making this to work not only for product photography, but we're gonna shoot fashion here. We're gonna expand a little bit areas that we do on Photigy, with the same way of community, strong community, and strong support from instructors for anything that we do.
Yeah.
And that's the best place to build a community. To build the community, because the Photigy in the studio is all about community. We're looking for interesting ideas. We were looking for photographers who have ideas, but for example, need some help with equipment, either or with knowledge or with studio to make it alive.
Yeah.
And that's what we'll be doing.
That's very
I'm not interested to shoot commercial stuff. We might do some.
Yeah, but it's all about the community
It's
and the
about
education
building community, education, and helping the talent to bring something to life. I remember I was looking at those magazines like 5 years ago, sitting at basement, and think, I wish I could have that camera or lighting, or I know how to do this, because I have such a cool idea for the shot.
Yeah.
And most of it, I just forgot what I was thinking about, and then, I never could implement it.
Yep.
But you know how they tell, if you have an idea, it's like a little, something alive growing in your head.
Right.
If you can bring it to life, maybe that's one of the purpose to live.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
That will happen here.
That's amazing. We'll have to do some more stuff together, because as I was mentioning to you before off camera, the This Week in Photo meetup group actually meets in Campbell, and that's where we are.
We need to think.
Yeah. So we'll do some stuff there as well. Alex, thank you for doing this. It's a pleasure. Where should people go to connect? So to see your work, obviously, and then to also become part of your community.
It's all Photigy.com. So www.photigy, if you can spell it.
We'll put a little lower third.
Yes.
Right at the bottom of the screen, you'll see.
Yeah, it's like a Prodigy, but for photographers.
Photigy.
Photigy.
Photigy. I think I got it right. It's on your shirt. Show your shirt. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
There you go. Photigy.com. There you go.
Yes,
There you go. Branding.
Yes, yes. It's all there, and again, it's not only me. People will find other photographers there.
Yeah.
All around the world, beautiful work, and most of them willing to teach and work in the courses.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Frederick. Thank you for stopping by and taking this.
You're
interview.
welcome, man. Congratulations. You're living the dream. You are living the dream. I'm going to be here one day.
Yeah, we'll do a lot of things together.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, that's it for this interview. This is Alex. Make sure you check out his work and the site and become a member of the community. And if you're in the Bay Area, you have to become a member of the community. There's no reason not to. So we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.